Blessings, everyone. And today I am going to, let me bring this down just a little bit. So today I am I've noticed that my services are not being recorded by Facebook. So what I'm doing is I'm going to redo the service that I did on Saturday that I thought was being transmitted. No wonder there was no messages, no comments. I should have known that. And but I kind of figured, well, everybody's really busy for the Christmas holidays, and then I found out all my videos are being held when they're it's just a problem with Facebook. You all know that I have an ongoing problematic relationship with Facebook. Um, so today I want to redo the um, the service that I did on Saturday live, and it never went through. So what we talked about was other worlds, other worlds, other worlds, and when we talk about other worlds is you know that I like to bring in the good book. You know that. You know I'm going to bring in, this is what service is all about. I'm going to bring in uh, the good book, and I want you to read, if you ever can, read Hebrews. I want you to read Hebrews. Hebrews 1 verse 2. It says, hath in these last days spoken unto us by his Son. Who is his Son? Yes. Whom he hath appointed heir of all things, by whom also he made the worlds. There is evidence that he's talking about other worlds. What we are understanding here is we're not alone. We're not alone. Um, and if you want proof in the pudding, there it is. Also on Hebrews 11, there's um, through faith we understand that the worlds were framed by the word of God. You remember what this means? When you take a word and you say it, it becomes an intention. First it's a thought, then it comes out as an intention, and then what happens? It manifests. So that things which are seen were not made of things which do appear. So we're talking about uh, the actual understanding that there are other worlds. Well, you may want to say at this point, well, of course there are other worlds. There's planets and uh, all these things that, that were created um, in in our universe. But if you take a look at, we have different galaxies, and what is there to say that there is not life in other galaxies? If you look at our Milky Way has other uh, suns and planets orbiting those suns. So no, the Bible doesn't say anything about the possibility. Well, the Bible verses we have now does not say anything about the possibility of life on other planets. So the Bible talks about living in this planet. Well, that's because it's a how-to manual, right? So what is there to say that another planet or another solar system may not have a how-to manual the way that they need to live? Right. Because there are infinite possibilities and infinite probable possibilities. We're looking at, okay, hold on a moment. So we're being we're getting instructions on how to live here. So in nowhere did the Bible say there was no possibility of life on other planets. The Bible is saying, listen, you're living here, you need to take care of business here, right? But it doesn't say that there is not life anywhere else. The Bible does tell us two really important pieces of information. It reminds us that everything in the universe, absolutely everything, it doesn't say but here, not here, or take this away except here. No, it says everywhere in the galaxy, or everything in the galaxy, owes its existence to the Creator. Well, if you look at what astronomers and scientists have found or discovered about space in our lifetime, and what they have shared, what they've been allowed to share, there are countless galaxies and phenomenons that are happening day in and day out that we can barely understand, because we're not thinking at that level where we understand all and we accept all. But listen to the very first words of the good book. In the beginning, God created the heavens and the earth. God is that incredible. So while in the beginning, God created the heavens and the earth, right? And even though God created us, or the Creator created us, look how we're living, right? Right. So one day it is going to dawn on you and everyone that we're not alone. First, we're not alone because the Creator is with us, and He sent us so many helpers every single day. And not only that, we understand that we can differentiate the world and earth. So the earth, EARTH, is one planet. That's the name of the planet. But the world means earth, stars, everything on the earth. It's the world. So you got to know how to differentiate the earth from the world, right? So when again we go back to Hebrews and we say, by His Son, who He appointed the heir of all things, where He made the worlds, it's an S. That means the worlds, their earth, their stars, and everything on that earth, which now becomes their planet, because earth is one planet. We really need to then sit back and rethink this whole thing. We have to really rethink this whole thing. Um, we got to start thinking, okay, so we may not be alone. And we may not be the only Earth, planet, hunk of, of rock that is holding life. Um, so how are we behaving? What are others seeing us? How do our angels see us? How do our spirit guides see us? How are we part of something? How do we become part of something constructive and loving and compassionate? Is this the moment that we need to show where we are compassionate, where we can let go of all this stuff that doesn't help us because it creates anxiety, it creates depression, it creates um, the inability to be loving? If can you imagine what those other worlds, if in fact we do take the understanding where they thought that they had may have taken away parts of the good book that would explain, hello, uh, we are definitely not alone, and then replaced it or didn't even think that we would notice certain words and certain triggers that would spiritually fill in those gaps. Um, what do you think these non-humans think about us? I mean, as it is right now, animals are terrified of us, and rightly so. But what would happen if we would take one day and be at peace, universal peace, world peace, planetary peace? What do you think might happen? And who is truly afraid that it might? This is where we have to ask ourselves, what are we willing to do to bring love, joy, and peace, not only to ourselves, because we know already that if we bring that to ourselves, we bring healing in many different levels. We bring up our frequencies, we bring up our vibrations. Therefore, the vibrations of the many also go up as well. But if we were to take one day, 24 hours, and not think, stop ourselves when we do, because you know your mind races and your mind does whatever it wants to do until you get a firm grasp of it and say nope, because you're working from your heart center. What do you think might happen where one day we get to forgive and forget, we get to change our habits that don't work for us, where we sit down and have the conversations of love and light that we need to have with our families and our friends, where we get to love ourselves and show ourselves what we are capable of doing with love and light. When you put love and light together, the frequencies are amazing. The energy that comes out of there is a burst of energy that you can't compare it to anything else. So what are we willing to give up so that we can create this new frequency? And when we do that, what do you think is going to happen? We become the blueprint of the universe. But are we really? Are we following what other galaxies are already doing? What other solar systems are already doing? They may not look like us, but maybe they do. Who knows? The idea is here, guys, that we have a wonderful opportunity to make changes every second of the day. We get a brand new opportunity to make a difference, to make changes, and to make good changes happen. And it all starts with a thought. And it's not any different than the Creator's vision and thought about creating us on this planet. If you take that and you say, now hold on a moment, I have free will and I have choice. Today I choose to live in love and light. Today I choose to bring forth all the goodness that the Creator has given me. And today I don't care who my Creator is, because I'm going to love that Creator. And I'm going to be thankful to that Creator. Because when you think about it and you put a name, that's why the name you can't hardly pronounce, because it doesn't matter. What matters is the love that you have in here and the understanding that you have here. We are creatures of love. We are dying to hug complete strangers right now, and we can't. And just when we thought it was getting better, we can deal with this. We can deal with this. Again. And what are you willing to give up so that you can recreate something better? Something that you have infinite wisdom guiding you and infinite possibilities in your infinite realm. That was Saturday's service. And what's the takeaway? The takeaway is nothing is more sacred or more important than you understanding that we are love. We were made by love. We were made with love. We were made in love. What does that make you? So it doesn't matter what religion. It doesn't matter what creed. It doesn't matter what planet. It doesn't matter what world. What matters is the love and the compassion that you can draw from and give to each other and anyone and anything that comes into our lives. Are we ready for a change? Absolutely. Are some of us afraid of that change? Absolutely. Are some of us hiding from that change? Absolutely. But those that are ready can rise and help those that are afraid and those that don't want to accept. That's what we're here to do. You know who you are. It's time to talk truth. It's time to speak about love. It's time to show that you can love. Don't just talk about it. Do it. 24 hours. If we can come to an agreement for 24 hours that we are all going to do this and practice, we can make a difference. And the bigger our group gets, because I'm hoping that our group begins to grow again, if our group begins to grow again, it is because that is how it was meant to be. And if it stays the way it is, then so be it. That is the way it was supposed to be. But we need to show love. We need to honestly feel love. And we need to be honest with ourselves. And we need to be honest with everybody else around us. And we need to be honest with what we feel. And we need to be honest, period. No more making up things. Fear doesn't belong in our hearts because it doesn't stay in our heart. It stays in our mind and it poisons the collective. We need to understand that we are love. Therefore, we need to live as such. Money means nothing. It's just material. What matters is what we can do for each other and ourselves. The only way we can do that is by trying to find out. I think the bird agrees. That's Mookie. So this is what this past Saturday's message was all about. Imagine how great our Creator is. That there are hidden possibilities in the great book. You just need to know how to find the information. But you can't find it unless you become familiar with it. And there's nothing wrong. I collect Bibles from different religions, different faiths. And the reason why I do that is I like to compare. I like to see what's going on. There's nothing wrong with that. I like to see what it is. And from that knowledge, I get a lot more open-ended knowledge. And everything comes to one word. It's one darn word. And it's the most wonderful frequency, the highest of frequencies. And it's talked about and it's shown in the stories over and over and over again. When you strip everything that happens and you get down to the grain of what the story, because that's what happens in all the books, they tell you stories. The one thing at the end of the story is about the relationship you have with love and the relationship you have with the Creator. But that turns into the relationship you have with the Creator that has a relationship with you as a co-creator, that you have a relationship with other co-creators. Because when you give birth, hello, you're a co-creator and you just gave birth to a co-creator. All right? Just, throwing that in there. But it's that relationship. And that relationship, that's the one thing The one thing that has gone through the entire existence of our planet and us as humans living on the planet is love. The relationship we have with love. And it's a relationship that you have with love. That relationship means I accept it, or I deny it, or I put it away, or maybe tomorrow, or I'm going to live in that relationship and I'm going to make it work. Well, it is exactly that. It's the relationship we have with love, because love is our creator. Love is ourselves as co-creators, and love is what we have co-created. And then love is what we spread. Love is what we teach. Love is what we feel. Love is what we speak. Love is what we manifest. You can't manifest love, right? Unless you understand and have a relationship with love. I hope this didn't take too long, and I hope I didn't take too much of your time, but I needed to record it this way so that I can give you service until I can figure out what's going on with Facebook. I think it's because I have too many videos, so I may have to start purging stuff from very far back. All right, so let me know what you think about the service, and let me know your thoughts, your questions. This is the difference between our service and many other services. This is an open-ended service. Ask your questions, ask them, write them down, and tell me what you feel about the service. Tell me also what you feel you want us to talk about. And pretty soon we're going to be, it's just not going to be me. I'm going to be able to bring in some guests, and we're going to be talking about other things. All right? Okay. So I'll see you soon. Bye.